Bonjour tout le monde, nous voici à la 25e édition de Canada Boccia Championship, Canadian Bocce Championship here in Newfoundland, St. John's, 2018 edition, going from November 15th to the 18th. We have here two representatives from Ontario in the BC1 category. We have Lance from Cryderman and Brock Richardson from Ontario. At this point, the referees are talking to the athletes concerning some of the basic expectations, rules, so just to clear up stuff, especially the communication with the athletes, and some of them are verbal, some of them are less verbal. And the referee is explaining how he wants the athletes to approach the court if they need any clarification on any calls. For this first round, the athletes have already had their opportunity. They should get an opportunity for a 2-minute warm-up now. Every athletes in the BC1 category have a sport assistant. Their category is less ambulatory. That means that they have a little more cerebral palsy affected. So they need an assistant to pick up the balls for them, put them in their hands, but they are not to be involved in anything else but doing that role. So the 2-minute will start the warm-up. We are officially here on the, what we would say, the first day of individual competition. The games usually are preceded by a team event, but this year the weather wasn't very cooperative, so most athletes arrived either late last night or early. Every athlete was here last night late, and so the team play has been eliminated from this competition. We will only be going to see some individual play this 25th edition of the Canadian Championship. So we have Lance here is been playing athlete. You see they have athlete 105. If you need to know, the 105 is Lance and 108 is Brock. Lance has been playing bocce since the age of 12. And he retired in 2001, and he's coming back here to play again in July. This is a sport where athletes can play for a very long time. So we're about to get to the start of the game. So this game is played, each athlete has a white ball, and that's called a jack ball. And as the jack ball is to each athlete, definitely a very important part of the game. They each get an opportunity to throw out their own jack ball. And the goal is to make sure that they put it in the area in the court that is suited for their own individual strengths. Donc ici vous avez des athlètes qui se préparent pour lancer le cochonnet, c'est la balle blanche, c'est le cochonnet qu'on appelle en français, et chaque athlète a son propre cochonnet, et c'est comme ça que débute chaque manche. Ici on attend que tous les terrains soient prêts pour le début de la compétition. Lance et Brock sont tous deux de la province de l'Ontario. Et donc, ils viennent pas tous de la même région, mais ils viennent de la province de l'Ontario et ils compétitionnent un contre l'autre pour s'assurer une position dans l'équipe nationale. Lance is now getting ready to throw out his jack ball. He likes to play it close to the V line. As you noticed, there is a V line in the front of the line that's kind of in a V formation. That line is absolutely it's important for the athletes to have their jack ball crossed and to be in play. They have to cross this line to be in play. Any other balls can be out of that area, but the jack ball has to be put in play in that area. Otherwise, they will lose the jack ball. Donc, le cochonnet doit traverser cette ligne en avant. Pour être en jeu. Sinon, on perd le cochonnet et l'adversaire aurait droit au lancer. Donc, c'est fait. Maintenant, Brock se place. Et son but, c'est d'être plus proche du cochonnet que la balle rouge de son adversaire. Donc, Brock is getting ready to shoot his first ball, and his goal is to gain a closer distance to the jack ball than his opponent. And the goal is to get that done in the least amount of balls or shots possible. Donc Brock doit essayer ici de se rapprocher du cochonnet plus que son adversaire. Le but est de prendre le moins de balles possible pour y arriver. Donc sa première balle est un peu dure, donc elle roule à l'extérieur. L'arbitre va vérifier. So the first ball rolls beyond the jack and is very close to the line. So the referee checks, and if it's not touching the line, it's removed from play. So here's his second attempt at getting to the jack ball. Donc c'est son deuxième lancer, deuxième balle. Ils ont 6 balles chaque à jouer. Et donc, le but, c'est certainement d'atteindre l'objectif dans le moins de lancers que possible. So every athlete has 6 balls to shoot, and they're trying to definitely get that, execute the ball to the jack with the least amount of shots as possible. Brock is taking time to regroup. And at least this one is closer than his opponent. So his opponent is now Lance is now his turn to take his second shot. Donc, Brock a réussi de se rapprocher du cochonnet. Maintenant, c'est Lance qui va lancer sa deuxième balle et il va essayer d'être plus proche encore que Brock du cochonnet. Un peu trop long. Donc, il doit essayer une deuxième lancée. Et voilà, le deuxième lancer, il est très très proche du cochonnet, c'est très bon lancer. On veut, le but c'est d'être aussi près que possible. Ça a bien réussi. Donc, his shot is right close to the jack. It's going to be challenging for his opponent. So that's a good position to be in. Takes a whole lot of concentration. And here it is. Oh, just short. I think Brock was trying to attempt to give a little push to the jack. Ça, c'est une stratégie. Maintenant, Brock, peut-être sa stratégie, ce serait de essayer de pousser le cochonnet vers les 2 balles. Donc, s'il donnerait un coup assez fort, il pourrait être en position de compter 3 points s'il peut pousser le cochonnet. Mais en ce moment, c'est juste être plus proche que la balle rouge, ça va être déjà bon. Plusieurs athlètes ici ont, la majorité ont la paralysie cérébrale, ils n'ont pas tous, mais c'est une condition qui fait que les muscles ne répondent pas toujours à le stimulus du cerveau. Et donc, la spasticité fait en sorte que c'est très difficile pour Brock en ce moment ici de se concentrer afin de laisser la balle sortir de sa main. Et donc, le temps s'écoule pour lui. Il reste 1 minute 31. Donc, les athlètes ont un temps limite pour jouer une manche. Chaque fois que la balle est lancée, le chronomètre est activé. Et lorsque la balle est arrêtée, on arrête le chronomètre. So Brock here is having a little bit of difficulty letting go of the ball because of obviously cerebral palsy is a situation where the athletes have spasticity in the muscles, and it makes it very difficult for the athletes to be able to command the shot as they will. So you notice here there's about 48 seconds left on the clock for Brock to accomplish and get his shot away. Definitely he has 2 balls remaining, so hopefully he can get this shot away. Et voilà, le lancer est fait. C'est un lancer très important. Et il réussit à déplacer la balle rouge de son adversaire Lance. So Lance now is getting ready for his shot. He has 3 balls left and about 2 minutes 10 seconds left on the clock. So we see what he gets. There's a shot. Not enough for this one, but he has 2 more shots left. And he's asking the referee to confirm the distance, I guess, to clarify the distance. The athletes do have the right to come out and see the field of play, but he opts to ask the referee because sometimes it can take a little bit of time to get out there. There's 1 minute left on the clock. got rid of the blue. So now it's time for Brock to get ready for his shot. At this point, the referee can't see it right now, but I can, so I won't talk about it right now. I'll tell you after. So he's getting ready for, you got 2 seconds left on the clock. 1. And not sure if the referee has seen it, but the athletes' wheel are not allowed to touch the lines. The referee didn't see that, but let's say that you see the chair has to stay within the confines of the box. Les athlètes ici doivent garder leur chaise à l'intérieur de cette boîte de 1 mètre. Et l'athlète avait sa roue en arrière sur la ligne, mais l'arbitre n'a pas vu. C'est une chance pour lui en ce moment. Parce que si l'arbitre voit cette infraction, il pourrait attester 2 lancers de punition à l'autre athlète. Donc là maintenant, nous avons Lance qui cède sa dernière balle parce qu'il est en position de compter 2 points. Donc Lance here has given up his last shot in the risk of maybe making a mistake and pushing his jack back. So he's conceding the last ball. They don't have to shoot all their balls, and so now they're going to do some measurements to confirm that he has the amount of points that he has occurred on this in this end. So they're measuring here. Measuring tools are they vary depending on the distance of the balls to the jack, and he's using his paddles to see the distance first of the closest opponent ball, and then anything within that is a point for the other team. So he is measuring. Il mesure la distance du cochonnet de la balle la plus proche de Brock pour vérifier c'est combien de points toutes les balles qui sont à l'intérieur de cette distance compteraient. Donc, on va voir ici, parce que parfois ça a l'illusion d'un angle, on peut croire qu'il y a plus de points qu'il y en a en réalité. Donc ici, l'arbitre se prépare pour donner les résultats aux athlètes pour cette manche. So the referee is now going to get the official score for this end is 1 for red. And if you notice, the referee has somewhat of a paddle that has a red side and a blue side, so that the athletes, if their their hearing is somewhat impaired, they can actually use their visuals to confirm that they have who's playing next. So now we're in the second end of this first round. If you're joining us now, we're at the 25th edition of the Canadian Boccia Championship here in St. John's, Newfoundland. Si vous venez juste de nous joindre, nous sommes à la 25e édition du championnat canadien de Boccia ici à St. John's, Terre-Neuve. Nous sommes à la 2e manche d'une partie contre 2 athlètes de l'Ontario, Lance Cryderman et Brock Richardson. C'est 1 pour Lance et en ce moment à la première manche. Donc, je vais parler un peu des assistants sportifs qui sont debout derrière nos athlètes. Leur rôle est varié. Ils s'occupent ils accompagnent l'athlète dans tout leur cheminement au niveau de tous les besoins personnels qu'ils peuvent avoir besoin. Et ils les assistent à un niveau sportif aussi, dans le sens qu'ils assurent, ils ramassent des balles pour eux, les aident à lancer. Et dans la partie, ils ont le droit simplement de donner la balle. Ils doivent se retirer du terrain avant que l'athlète puisse lancer la balle. Et ici, nous avons l'entrée de Adam qui va venir faire appuyer au compteur. Les volontaires ici aussi ont, c'est pas plusieurs, c'est peut-être leur première expérience au niveau de la table des compteurs, donc on a besoin un peu d'aide parfois. So Adam here is lending a hand to the scorekeepers in order to help with the monitors. A lot of the volunteers are new to this sport, so he's assisting right now, so we have a bit of a delay. Well, Adam is helping them determine the clock, so we're in the second end. He's got the score. And yes, there's 5 minutes on the clock for each end. A new thing that was added to the rules in the past. The jackball wasn't timed. It wasn't timed, but now they've added the clock will start with the jackball, so it's included in the 5 minutes. So Brock will get ready now. It's his turn to throw out his jackball. C'est Brock maintenant qui lance le cochonnet pour la deuxième manche. Comme je disais tantôt, les athlètes maintenant, le cochonnet est chronométré. Dans le passé, il n'y avait pas de chronomètre, ne commençait pas sur le cochonnet, mais maintenant, le temps débute même avec le lancer du cochonnet. Vous voyez ici, Brock a changé de balle. Chaque athlète a sa trousse de balles. C'est des balles personnelles qu'ils ont achetées puis qui ont formé selon leurs besoins. Certains athlètes ont besoin des balles un peu plus souples, un peu plus molles, d'autres un peu plus dures, mais la majorité des athlètes choisissent la densité de leurs balles selon la distance qu'ils veulent atteindre sur le terrain et aussi leur habileté de tenir la balle. Brock, il y aurait plus de difficultés avec une balle qui serait plus dure. Donc, each athletes have their personal choice for their bocce balls. They purchase them in different hardness, and so depending on the ability to what area of the court they'd like to use, they would definitely have different choices of balls. So they always have an arsenal of different type of ball. They're all the same size. They have to weigh a certain weight. They now added a density test, so to make sure that the balls are not too soft to the point where they are no longer round. So that's something that they've had to change in the past because at some international competition we were faced with the balls being so soft that they were not actually round, and so looking more like a beanbag than a ball. So you can understand if this is a sport where we need to be able to push a ball away. If the ball is too soft, that is an impossible task. So there is now a density test of the ball to make sure that they are actually at a certain, that they have the ability to roll at all times. So we see here Brock a bit struggling with the release of the ball. At this point, there could be a lot of factors. He could be tired. Obviously, any amount of stress definitely multiplies the effect. But he is in a very good position now. He had a very good shot. Un bon lancer pour Brock. Il est en très bonne position. Si on regarde selon les positions de la balle par rapport au cochonnet, on prône souvent de se placer une balle sur le côté, devant le cochonnet, et souvent sur le côté de notre adversaire, dans le fond, dans le but de comme créer un certain bloc. Une balle comme ça est plus difficilement déplaçable. So Brock here, his shot is in a good position because it is in front of the jack, and it is also lined up with his opponent. So kind of creating a block for his opponent not to have clear access to the jack. So as you see, the athlete there lands through his ball to the right. He's probably trying to get a piece of the jack in order to move it away. So we'll see what he does with his third ball. He's definitely Brock put his ball in a perfect position. Still struggling on his fourth attempt to create an opening for himself. There he is. So just a little tap on make contact. Move away the block from Brock. And exposing the jack. So that was a very good shot. Okay, took a little interesting bounce there, but not close enough to beat Brock's shot. So now we're looking at a couple of options. Move out the blue completely, or attempt to push his ball towards the jack. But right now it looks like Brock is pretty close to the jack, probably even touching. So I would assume that trying to clear the blue. And so all the balls have been thrown from Lance, and now we have Brock looking at the situation, and from his vantage point he has sight of the jack, possibly. I can't tell you exactly from this angle, but he definitely has a distraction in front from the red ball that's there. Donc Lance a lancé toutes ses balles, il est en bonne position, il est devant, il compte pas maintenant, mais Brock maintenant il doit penser à quelques stratégies. Il doit faire attention de ne pas pousser la balle rouge de son adversaire vers le cochonnet. Donc pas certaine qu'est-ce qu'il va essayer de faire, mais s'il voit le cochonnet, peut-être s'assurer d'utiliser la balle à droite pour venir se poser plus proche du cochonnet aussi. C'est quand même un lancer assez risqué, mais très possible, très beau. Donc là, il vient de créer un peu plus d'ouverture. Donc, il y a de l'espace entre les deux balles rouges pour essayer de compter quelques points ici. Mais on a définitivement, en ce moment, un point pour Brock. Donc Brock did a good shot here. He pushed away, just created a little bit more space for himself. Hopefully he can try to get a second ball in that gap in order to score another point. And comes short. There is a lot of traffic in front, but there's still a lot of space for him to score another point. So the goal is to try to score a second point here in order to advance, to be not in a tie situation. And just a little long. But then again, the goal was to get in there, and he did. So that's a very good shot. It sounded like that ball's a little harder than the other one, so that's why it tends to roll a little bit more on the floor. Got 26 seconds left on the clock for Brock. Lots of time. And let's see. Oh, just not enough. So the referee will indicate that we have the score for Brock is now 1 point. He scored 1 point. Donc Brock vient de compter 1 point dans cette manche. Donc c'est égalité après les 2 premières manches. Nous avons l'égalité. Il nous reste 2 autres manches à jouer, donc restez là avec nous pour qu'on puisse vous rapporter le restant de cette partie. Les athlètes ont 1 minute entre les manches. So the athletes have 1 minute between ends in order to have a little bit of a drink, a repositioning, maybe sometimes a little bit of a stretch. And they will get ready for the third end. Donc, c'est le retour à la manche que Lance va débuter. Lance Cryderman de l'Ontario et Brock Richardson de l'Ontario, tous deux. La partie ici, on commence la 3e manche, le pointage est 1-1. Et voilà, c'est fait. Le lancer. Le cochonnet est en jeu. Il a bel et bien traversé la ligne en avant. So the jack is in play. And we're ready now for Lance's Cryderman's first ball. Et c'est un peu long, mais c'est une première balle. Donc, Brock va faire attention à ses lignes. Je pense qu'il était très conscient à la deuxième manche qu'il était, ou c'était la première manche qu'il a touché les lignes. Donc là, on peut y avoir dit de faire bien attention. Parfois, c'est parce qu'on est trop concentré. Donc, the athletes tend sometimes to concentrate too much and they forget about the line aspect of their game. So Brock has adjusted his chair in order to be in play. Brock is getting ready for this very important shot. Obviously, he sees the jack that's totally open. He is definitely in his mind thinking that he would like to have, in the best shot possible, have his ball directly on the jack. But he comes up short of the goal, so his ball has also rolled beyond the jack. So he gets in a second attempt. Donc, Brock doit prendre une deuxième balle pour pouvoir se rapprocher du cochonnet autant que possible. Et une deuxième balle. On va voir si, cette fois-ci, l'arbitre doit avoir recours à mesurer. Et non, et c'est visiblement pour lui, la balle est plus proche. La balle à Brock est plus proche du cochonnet. Et donc maintenant, Lance s'apprête à faire son lancer. So Brock actually was able to get closer to the jack, even though it looks far. But for here, the referee has great advantage view of the distance, and so it is now Lance's turn to try to beat this shot with the least amount of balls possible. There it is. So that one is closer. So now it's Brock's turn to take his shot. So this is 3 out of 6 balls being thrown out there. So c'est sa troisième balle de 6. Brock est à 2 minutes 24 dans son 5 minutes d'écoulé. Et voilà, le lancer. Et c'est pas assez, donc il doit lancer encore. Donc Brock has thrown out his third ball, and it's not in a position of scoring yet. So here it goes with ball number 4. Une minute 26, 1 minute 18 qui reste à Brock. Et voilà. Oh! Passé trop fort. Mais encore, il lui reste 2 balles. Et avec 52 secondes, voilà la balle qu'il cherchait. Donc, c'est ça. Parfois, ça prend quelques lancers, mais la réussite vient avec la persévérance. Donc, he persevered, and he has a very good shot there, right on the jack. So Lance now is getting ready to counter that shot. He has he's in a good position. He still has about 3 balls remaining. With this one, with this one 4. And boom, there it is. He managed to move Brock's ball off the jack with 1 attempt. So that's the goal. Prendre le moins de balles possible pour atteindre l'objectif, c'est ça le but. Donc, il reste 38 secondes à Brock pour lancer cette dernière balle. Very important for Brock to be able to take this shot away. And there it is. And a very good shot, actually. Not enough. Not sure. I have to measure. Pas certain si ça peut compter ce point-là, mais ça a définitivement créé un espace. Donc, l'athlète va sortir voir le terrain. So, athletes are allowed to come out and get a better view of the play. And often they take a look at the angle that they have. And this gives them an idea of how they could position their chair to get a successful shot. Donc voici la tête qui est sortie pour voir le terrain afin d'avoir un meilleur angle et souvent ça peut l'aider à déterminer le positionnement de sa chaise dans la boîte de jeu. Maintenant, sur l'écran, bienvenue à tous ceux qui nous joignent aujourd'hui pour cette 25e édition du championnat canadien de boccia, ici à Terre-Neuve, St. John's. Nous sommes à la première ronde des jeux avec les athlètes de la catégorie BC1. Nous avons ici sur le terrain deux athlètes de l'Ontario. So welcome to those who are watching. We're at the 25th edition of the Canadian Boccian Championship. We are in the first round of play where all athletes with the BC1 category are playing their first game of the day. After battling Mother Nature to get here, they have been very courageous. Some of them have been held up in the airports for the last 2 days, and finally everybody came in safely yesterday. So we're happy and grateful for that. And now we're enjoying an amazing tournament. So we have all the balls have been thrown by both athletes, and we are now Lance Cryderman from Ontario has taken the lead and scored 1 point in this end. So it's a very close game, 1-1 and 1. At this level of play, especially with athletes with this caliber and this experience, the score tends to be very close. So here we have it. We're in the last end of this first game of the tournament. Here we go. We have our faithful Adam here coming in to the rescue of the score clock. So it gets very technical. We used to do it on pen and paper with flip cards. Now we've come a long way. And this is all to make the sport a lot more interesting and vibrant, and definitely a challenge. With this is a sport that's really, really soared in the last few years. For anybody watching has any needs to have any information about this sport, the Canadian Cerebral Palsy Sports Association are a good place to start. If you wanted to have more information, and for this venue, you'd see bocciacanada.ca. You will be able to access the play, also the live feeds. And we can also go to our Facebook page at Boccia Canada at facebook.com and just look for Boccia Canada, and you will see the live feed of the games. Donc, si vous vous êtes intéressé à accéder à la compétition au niveau de le visionnement des parties, vous allez sur Facebook et chercher pour Boccia Canada, et les parties seront diffusées toute la fin de semaine. Et aussi, si jamais vous avez besoin de voulez avoir de l'information, vous êtes intéressé à joindre le programme à tous les niveaux, l'Association canadienne de sport pour paralytiques cérébraux, il y a plein d'occasions pour les athlètes à se joindre à des sports de toutes sortes. Donc, je vous invite à visionner notre diffusion aujourd'hui, à partager avec vos amis, parce que ces athlètes travaillent très, très fort pour vous apporter un jeu qui est très précis et très intéressant. So these athletes work very, very long and very hard at their sport, and I know for a fact that they probably, they would beat me in a minute because they are so good at their game. So here we are, ready for the last end, sixth end. The 5 minutes on the clock, and Brock is getting ready to throw out his jack. Brock Richardson from Ontario. Very important end for Brock. He's definitely trying to get that jack out. And there it is. So he's ready for his first ball. Again, the athlete is responsible to ask for the ball. The sport assistant cannot bring a ball to the athlete unless there has been some kind of gesture from the athlete to bring the ball out. So l'assistant sportif doit absolument attendre pour une indication de l'athlète direct, soit verbale ou d'un gestuel, pour qu'il puisse lui apporter une balle. Donc, tout le jeu, malgré qu'on ait un assistant sportif, doit mener directement de l'athlète. The athlete is responsible for his play. His assistant is only there to make sure that they are able to play their game by bringing them the ball when they ask for it. And the athletes must choose the ball that they're going to use. Even though two options are presented, it is not the sport assistant's role to choose which one he is going to use. So here it is, the shot. Jackson, the first ball is in front, in line with his opponent. Definitely a good position to be in, though. So even though the distance is a little bit far, but definitely still lined up in front of his opponent, Lance. Cryderman from Ontario now will attempt his first ball to beat Brock's shot. Donc Brock a placé sa balle en ligne droite avec le cochonnet sur le côté de son adversaire, ce qui est un lancer qui est fortement encouragé. Et on va voir qu'est-ce que Lance va pouvoir faire pour contrer ce lancer. Il n'a pas une excellente vision du cochonnet, donc il va y aller évidemment de droite ou à gauche. Il va bouger, il va faire de l'espace. Donc, si vous avez remarqué, étant donné que la balle à Brock était placée devant lui, il a été en position de pousser la balle à Brock. Donc, Lance had his first shot. He hit the blue ball forward. So that is why it's important to place your first ball in front of your opponent, in line with his box. And another, see again the advantage of having, even though Brock's ball wasn't directly on the jack, having it in front of his opponent has created the situation now that his opponent has inadvertently pushed his ball forward towards the jack. Donc, le positionnement de la balle était très important ici, d'avoir la balle devant son adversaire. Brock a réussi à faire pousser sa balle par son adversaire vers le cochonnet et maintenant en position de compter. Mais c'est pas terminé. Il y a plusieurs balles encore à jouer. Donc, on va voir qu'est-ce que Lance va pouvoir faire avec ça. Boom. Et voilà. On a fait espace. Au moins, on peut voir un peu plus le jeu. Donc, il y a 4 balles de lancer. Il en reste 2 à Lance. Donc, il reste une balle à Lance. There's one ball left for Lance. Brock right now is in a position of still in a scoring position. So, but not to worry. There is still a lot of options. There's definitely the contact with the blue, getting the blue ball off the jack. Donc, maintenant, sa dernière balle, Lance va essayer de minimiser les dommages et d'être en position d'empêcher Brock. Donc maintenant, étant donné que c'est la dernière manche, la tête a juste besoin, pour gagner, a juste besoin de compter un point de plus si nous sommes à l'égalité. Donc right now we're tied with this situation with all the balls being shot. We're tied. Brock only has to score one more point in order to get this game, and that would be the goal right now, is to score a second point. And let's see if that happens. He's definitely distracted by that red ball that's in front. Donc, Brock maintenant est en position de compter un autre point pour gagner la partie. C'est certain que la balle en avant de lui, la balle rouge devant le cochonnet, est une préoccupation. Il doit essayer définitivement d'éviter de pousser cette balle vers le cochonnet. Et donc, il a repositionné sa chaise. So, he repositioned his chair in order to avoid getting in a direct line with the red ball that's in front. Definitely a preoccupation right now, but he's able to get around that. And like I said, Brock only needs to score one more point in order to gain this match. And there's the concentration here. He's definitely working hard at keeping it together. We have on the clock, you see, he has a lot of time to release the shot. So let's see here. I'm not sure if he is scoring 2 points now. He might have been a good time to ask. But that's sometimes when we get in the heat of the play, some athletes forget to verify their position at this point. Very, very, very important shot here. Brock feeling the pressure. Donc Brock ici s'apprête à lancer. Et il a échappé la balle. On pourrait dire ça c'est une balle échappée. Mais il en reste 2. Si l'athlète fait une motion de lancer, parfois il peut y avoir une balle échappée. Si vraiment là, la balle il a sorti de la main sans motion de lancer. Mais s'il y a moindrement la motion de lancer et la balle est échappée, il ne peut pas reprendre sa balle. Donc, if an athlete accidentally drops the ball, he could ask her an opportunity to shoot the ball again or to pick up the ball again. But if there's any motion towards a shot, then no luck. Voici. Il y a 36 secondes de reste. 36, actually now down to 23 seconds left for, and Brock has 2 more balls, including this one. He has 2 balls left, and hopefully this is the one that clinches it. So he's going to ask the score now. Donc maintenant, Brock va demander le pointage pour voir s'il est en position d'avoir marqué. Et selon qu'est-ce que je vois, il a concédé la dernière balle, définitivement un bon choix. So Brock decides to concede the last shot because he is now scoring 2 points, so which makes him win this match. And now the referee is going to measure. When the referee gives them an estimate of what they see, they often have to make sure that they measure in order to assure the accuracy of the decision. So upon measurement, we'll have an official score of this game. Donc après on a mesuré, on va avoir un résultat final de la partie. Et selon moi, les athlètes doivent retourner à leur boîte, faire face à l'arbitre. So the athletes go back to their box. And you see here on the court, the balls are very, very close. The athletes go back to their boxes, and the referee makes it official that is only 1 for the blue. So Brock is now in the position of playing an extra end. It's a tie game. Wasn't enough to get in that second point, so we are in an extra end. So that's how the tie games are determined with 1 extra end. The referee will have a coin toss, and according to the coin toss, that will determine who gets to throw out the jack and lead the end. Donc, l'arbitre ici, étant donné qu'on a une manche de surplus afin de déterminer le gagnant, il va y avoir un 5 minutes additionnel ajouté à la partie. Et donc, l'arbitre va faire le tirage au sort pour déterminer quel athlète va avoir le cochonnet. Et ça a été déterminé que j'attends encore le verdict. I'm still waiting for the verdict here, who is going to be throwing out the jack. And I'm thinking that it will be Brock. I'm not sure. So if you're joining us now, we're in the 25th edition of the Canadian Boccia Championship. I stand corrected. The athletes do not throw out the jack and then an extra end. They put it on the X. I am sorry. I thought it was... But it is Brock's jack, and he would get first shot. Okay, so Brock is getting the first shot. He won the toss. Donc, dans une manche de surplus pour déterminer le gagnant, nous avons le cochonnet est placé au centre et l'athlète qui a gagné le tirage au sort a la première chance de lancer sa première balle vers le cochonnet. Donc, ça, c'est un lancer qui était quand même assez important. On veut être en avant, on veut être proche afin de vraiment donner de la difficulté à notre adversaire de pouvoir compter. Puis dans cette manche, c'est assurément l'athlète qui compte le premier point à la fin de tout gagne la partie. So we have Brock here getting ready for his first shot in this extra N. They are tied 2-2 after 6, and it rolls towards the jack, and it's in a good position. We have it in front. Again, this distance, as you saw, both athletes played closer to the V line. This distance sometimes is challenging for the athletes, so placing it on the X in the middle of the play gives equal advantage to the athletes. So the athletes are not disadvantaged with the extra end. That's why the X is placed in the middle there. I was saying it's about the 3 meter mark. And there it is. Ooh, excellent shot, but it's still exposed. The jack is still there, available for Brock. Donc c'est un beau lancer, mais le cochonnet est encore disponible ici. Il est exposé. C'est sûr et certain, la personne qui peut toucher le cochonnet en avant et très proche est en meilleure position, mais c'est encore à déterminer. Donc we have Brock here has an opportunity here to put his ball on the jack. We'll see what he does with this shot. Very, very important shot. So taking all the time needed, and so yes, he beat it. He's still in the back, but he beat this shot. So let's go now. We're back to Lance Cryderman's. It's his turn now to see if he can beat and score. Donc, Lance se positionne maintenant pour son deuxième lancer dans cette manche de surplus en temps de déterminer le gagnant d'une partie qui était à l'égalité 2-2 après 4 manches. Et ça, c'est un lancer exceptionnel. It's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Bon. Ce lancer vient de mettre Lance dans une très, très, très bonne position. Mais tout n'est pas fini. Il reste 4 balles à Brock et il a un bon lancer. Et voilà. Vous voyez ici l'exemple de la possibilité ici, c'est jamais terminé jusqu'à temps que la dernière balle est lancée. So we have Brock here, who is also in a good position. He's definitely not finished here. We have lots of opportunities to score and push and get right down there to the jack. So it's never over in bocce until the last ball is thrown. And there it is, and nice. We'll see. It's a good shot. Oh my God, these guys are playing a really, really intense game here. We might have to take out the measurements. So it looks like it's still blue. So that means that quite possibly the red ball is more likely touching the jack. So sorry. Change his mind. He's choosing another ball. He has to wait for his attendant to be out of the box. He has to remain calm and throw out that jack. get her done. So Brock is an advantage here. So we have Lance throwing out. He has 4 balls left. And see what happens there. Referee's going to go and check if that has created a new situation. And Brock is still, in this point, he's still in a scoring position. That's why he's called upon the red ball to be thrown out again. So, as you can see, the proximity of the balls to that jack is very, very close. Donc, Brock en ce moment a le point. Et la responsabilité est sur Lance de contrer ce point. Et il va continuer à lancer jusqu'à temps qu'il atteigne son objectif. Et on va voir si ça c'est assez. L'arbitre encore semblerait que avec ce dernier lancé, Brock est encore plus proche du cochonnet. Si on regarde, il doit y avoir une distance minime, mais qui est assez. Donc, at this point, we have Brock who's still closer to the jack. He's still scoring. He's in still scoring position. Very important shot to see if we can create some movement. Sometimes even hitting the ball slightly can create the difference. And he did it. So you see, just by getting a little bit of movement in there, he's managed to get his ball closer to the jack. So he is now scoring. So this is going to be a very, very, very close down to the last ball. Brock is throwing out. Donc la dernière balle pour Brock ici pour essayer de compter le point. Il lui reste encore beaucoup de temps. 1 minute, c'est long. Donc Brock is getting ready for his last shot, last ball, in order to gain the point. $15, 14, and yes, the clock is against Brock right now, so he needs to make the decisions to take the shot, and there it is, and it's wide. So red here wins this match. The winner of the game is Lance Cryderman from Ontario against Brock Richardson, also from Ontario. Very, very close match. Both players have played very, very well, match to match, ball to ball. No shame in this game. It was very tight. Donc, la partie était très, très serrée avec les deux joueurs. On avait un point. Les joueurs, jamais il y a un qui a surmonté l'autre. Donc, c'était très, très beau match pour les deux athlètes. Donc, là, maintenant, c'est Brock qui a demandé un arbitre en chef pour venir, ou un autre arbitre, je ne sais pas si c'est l'arbitre en chef, mais comme c'est là, un autre arbitre pour venir confirmer le pointage. Quand c'est très, très, très proche, on doit souvent l'athlète peut demander une deuxième opinion. Donc Brock has asked a second opinion on the shots here. Actually, a second measurement from another referee, and it's they are allowed to ask for a measurement when the baller close to a point where it could make the difference in the match here. So that's if you just joined us, and we're in the first round of the 25th edition of the Canadian Bocce Championship here in St. John's, and the athletes have asked the referee for a second measurement, and we will now have the confirmation of the results. So it's official. We have the match is 3-2 for Lance Cryderman from Ontario.